All right, welcome back to the Hard Forking channel. My name's Sean. I'm a problem gamer. This is Baloo. He's an excellent technical analyst. So we hope to bring you a very fun show tonight, don't we, Baloo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we'll keep it short so you can get back to your DGen gaming as well.
Oh, I tell you, Baloo, it's been 6 weeks of battling away in 9 Chronicles. Been very interesting. I'll share my experiences with everyone tonight about what I think of this particular game and play to earn in general. Great to see so many of the community here. Welcome along to you all. Please get a little more involved in these streams, people. We're here to help educate you. So fire your questions at us. My first question, Baloo, when new all-time high?
Oh, everybody's watching, everybody's staring. We're a few $100s away now. I mean, on my chart, on my FTX chart here, I've got 64,888 as the $1 past the all-time high. Yeah, I mean, time is really hard to quantify. We don't really know. But what I do know is that this trend is very strong. And I'm not seeing, any reason as to why we don't have more room to the upside. If we take a look at the RSI here, it is high at a 74. But in crypto, we can go to much higher levels on the RSI. It's not until we kind of start breaking above 80 before it really starts to be considered overbought. There's still a lot of hype in the market. We're just not filling the order books to get us that final push. We're about 2 hours away from the 12-hourly candle from closing. So maybe that macro candle will kind of give us a little bit of a push. But honestly, we're so close. We're really, really close. I would be surprised to see us not come and test,
Oh, lost your audio there, buddy. Hello, we've lost Baloo's audio. And you're back. Oh,
not hearing any audio from you, Sean.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm not hearing any audio from you.
Oh dear, I'm hearing you. You can't hear me at all, no?
No, now I can. I just had to mess with my settings a little bit. Yeah.
There you go. And we're back just when it was getting good. I'm not sure what you were saying there. Obviously, we're at an extremely interesting point here, heading for a new all-time high. Fingers crossed it may happen while we're on the stream. Now, Baloo, real basic stuff here, but many people have asked me today, knowing that obviously we do this TA show together. How do we chart something when we go into completely new territory like we hopefully are about to? What are the methods? What are the tools? What can you tell us about that? What are the basics?
Well, as I often say, this is not a prediction. This is not a method of prediction. This is a method of analyzing the present. But there are a few tools that you can look at to kind of determine certain extension targets. So one tool that I find quite handy, a lot of people have different variations as to how to do this kind of stuff, but here, I'll just show a very common one that people use where you just take the distance from a high to a low. And this is called a measured move, where you can go to the next high to basically where we're at right now. So we're already kind of on an extension from that point. Or you can use Fibonacci extension tools, where you go from the swing low to the swing high, drag that down to a swing low. And we're just past the 100% extension. The next Fibonacci target would be just shy of $70,000. And this continues on to much higher levels. But, when you're in a blue sky breakout, the trend is your friend. As long as we're in an uptrend, the assumption is higher levels. Now, at some point, you do need to decide on how you want to take profits or where you think that we might be reaching a pinnacle in the market. And that's where I kind of turn to logarithmic charts. So this is the total market cap from the COVID shakeout to the end of 2021, giving us, we can see that we're kind of at the bottom of the range here. So we can continue up this level and maybe get to about a $6 or $7 trillion valuation inside of the total market cap as a whole. But another tool for Bitcoin is the logarithmic growth curves. So again, if we go to the log chart, let's make that auto, and pull up an indicator called Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. It can give you kind of a general idea as to where we become overbought. And that's the best you can do. So we're on track. We've got some confluence up here at around $70,000. It's in line with this Fibonacci extension right here. And the top end, if we just went straight up from here, we would be at 135, just shy of $135,000 if we just went straight up from here. So obviously, as time progresses, you can get to some higher targets. So the top of the range here would be just shy of $150,000. But everybody wants to time the top. Everybody wants to hold it to the very last second. Part of what I teach is just have a plan. At what point can you change your life? If you have life-changing money sitting on the table, take it, change your life. It's not so much about nailing the top for your sell. It's more about being smarter in the future. Like if it's not your fault that you're not in crypto right now. Just know that these markets are cyclical and there's going to be opportunities to really make some smart purchases when there's less hype, less excitement, aka the bear market. So.
Sure. Now, coming right back to basics here, we're talking about these Fibonacci extensions. Obviously we're going into uncharted territory here. This is an all-time high. What can you tell us about Fibonacci? I mean, this is something that we find in all of nature, correct? Sort of in the shape of seashells, literally everything, leaves. Can you expand on? I find it fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fascinating. I kind of take more of a, indifferent approach to Fibonacci overall. I know that it's a common tool that a lot of people look at, and there's confluence because people are using it. But yeah, the golden ratio is found all over nature. It shows up in, like you said, spiral formations, the way plants grow, the angles of architecture are strongest when you take into consideration this 618. Like, I don't even know. It's a mathematical ratio of whatever it is that you're weighing up that is supposed to be a way for you to, find strength or symmetry or, whatever. For me, they're just magical numbers that I put on a chart. It doesn't really have a ton of relevance outside of the fact that people built these tools that traders use. And because traders use them, those are areas of supply. So I just make note of them in that regard. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And to what degree do you think this ETF is playing a major role here?
Publicity, hype, people getting excited. It's just awareness. If you're not already in crypto, I mean, when you're in crypto, all you hear is crypto. But when you're not in crypto, you do need these kind of bigger events to bring capital back in. So if you knock on the door enough times in traditional finance and say, "Hey, Bitcoin's still alive. Bitcoin's still alive. Look at the price. Look at the price," people are going to eventually be like, "Okay, well, what the heck is Bitcoin?" And then they fall down the rabbit hole and figure out, looks like a good idea, better than gold. This, that, and the other, whatever narrative you want to spin on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of gold, Bitcoin passed the market cap of silver over the last week, which is obviously very interesting. Gold still sitting up there at 10 trillion. For those of you that don't know, looking at the Bitcoin chart, obviously the narrative is digital gold. Is it going to pass gold one day, in your opinion, Baloo?
100%, 100%, without a doubt, it will pass gold. Gold's utility is in its major utility is in jewelry now because of what we have with Bitcoin. The store of value, the unit of account. I mean, gold does two things. It makes jewelry, and you can store it in a safe for the apocalypse. Which, if you are a doomsday prepper, hey, go buy gold. It's part of your prep materials. Yep. But for me, as long as we live in a world with computers and live in a world of internet, Bitcoin has gold beat on every single stance.
Exactly. I mean, look, wars have been fought over gold. Countries invade other countries for their gold in the past. Refugees have hidden gold in their underpants as they've had to flee, et cetera, et cetera. We could go on. And obviously, we've seen this in recent times with Bitcoin and China's capital controls, trying to stem the outflow of money. What did the Chinese people use to get money out of China? Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Tether. So, yes, I strongly agree. Much easier way. You can walk through an airport with your entire wealth in your head with your Bitcoin private key. Try doing that with a bunch of gold. Ain't going to happen. So, I couldn't agree more. Yes, the force is strong with the Bitcoin Baloo. What about Ethereum? What's going on there?
So Ethereum, I think it's going to do well moving forwards because it's got more asymmetry in gains. So, people are going to see that it's been around for a while. They're going to see what it's done. That it usually, when in a bullish trend, outperforms that of Bitcoin. So there's going to be speculators that are wanting to get their hands on it. The last stage of the bull market, it's not about utility. It's not about use case. It's about speculation and people FOMOing in and buying things that they don't truly understand. There are still problems on Ethereum. Now, a lot of those problems are getting better. We have Arbitrum, we have Immutable X, we have Optimism, we have all of this scaling infrastructure that's being built out. Polygon has a ton that has been built over the few months since its meteoric rise. We've seen a lot more of these decentralized applications building on Polygon. So there's a lot of relief coming to the Ethereum network. But the fact remains the same. It's like $50 to interact with the smart contract, and that price is not going down this cycle. You need to be prepared for at the end of the cycle. If you want to do something with an Ethereum smart contract, it's going to cost you like $1,000. So there's big problems with Ethereum from a fundamental side, but from a speculative and trading side, I think that we're going to start to see this begin to outperform Bitcoin if we can break past the all-time high, get a higher low as a retest wherever that comes in. We are piling in a lot of leverage into the system, so usually there's going to be some sort of liquidation event that goes along with that. But you can see we've got a very nice chart here. We are just ascending out of this accumulation. Some, for the pattern traders out there, we have a cup and handle formation that is building. So, from a technical side, it looks good. From the speculation side, it looks good. It's going to run. We're in a bull market. It's just a matter of when the momentum comes. So, yeah.
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Have you got a chart there sort of comparing the performance of Ethereum against Bitcoin over the last year and even a longer period? For me, this is a fascinating one. If we go back to 2017, it's important to point out that when the Bitcoin bubble popped, which also obviously coincided with the CME futures launching, by the way, Ethereum kept going for a further 2 months. A lot of people forget that. And when we're hearing all this chat about this cycle sort of running up to December, January, we've also got Ethereum 2.0 scheduled, I must say, for the end of the first quarter. So, those two facts together make this a fascinating one for me. Obviously, it's a tech investment, this one. Is it going to be a new layer of the internet, a monetary layer on the internet? I believe so. But am I nervous? Hell yeah, I'm nervous. I mean, look, this has been delayed and delayed. But as you've rightly pointed out, a lot of people sort of seem to miss the fact that these layer twos are part of the scaling solution. The amount of people that have seen it, it was probably, I was one of them, 8-9 months ago. Oh, well, I got a decent sized Matic position, but Matic's finished once ETH 2.0 is here. Absolutely not. It's just part of that ecosystem. So look, this is the one that I'm probably watching even more closely than Bitcoin. And I also kind of think that this might be where these two assets, because there is institutional interest in both, they may diverge over the next 6 months. And, you know, that those big players realize, okay, we can't lump these two together as one investment because they are so different. So next 6 months, I think are going to be.
I think that's rather optimistic of you to think that people are going to identify that there's a difference. I still think people don't know what Bitcoin is, but they're still going to buy it. You know, there's savvy hedge funds and there's savvy people who are going to be buying Ethereum because they know. But I do think that most of traditional finance still hasn't got a clue on Bitcoin, nor are they ready to kind of be in charge of their own funds. You know, the concept of a wallet, all of that stuff, they're already set up. They've got their trading accounts. They use traditional finance. You know, if Bitcoin comes into their world, they'll trade it. But, you know, they're not going to be searching for Ethereum and say, hey, you know, we got this other currency. I don't think they're there yet. That's my opinion.
I don't look, you know, I agree. I would sort of temper that with the fact that, you know, I take the people managing the New Zealand pension fund. They invested in Ethereum over a year ago, quite a large allocation as well. You know, that's a big institutional play, you know, at a sovereign level. So, you know, these big funds, institutional funds, obviously allocate every quarter. So it's also going to be fascinating if we do get this big run up into December, whether we keep going in January. I would say that we do. That's where that's where they allocate funds. So if they've not done that this quarter, we could see a huge amount of capital coming in January to keep this whole show going. Then it becomes the case, is ETH 2.0 going to launch end of the first quarter? So this is going to be a really interesting ride for the next 6 months.
Yeah, the notion of lengthening cycles is not something that's off the table for me, but price action is going to be very telling. I need to see what the structure of the price is overall. I don't care about, you know, timing. I don't care about fundamentals at this point. I don't care about a lot because it's really all going to fall down to structure. So, you know, if we start to rally here at end of October into November, December, and we're getting to the top of the channel near the end of the year, for me, I'm going to play it safe and I'm going to be really kind of hedging out of positions and proceeding with a lot of caution. Now, if we just tick to the upside and the structure doesn't have that kind of parabolic rise and we just are steady Eddie into the new year, absolutely. Absolutely, I'll be entertaining the idea of a lengthening cycle. I always am, you know, willing to accept these kind of new theories, but they need to break the model of the old theory before I go down that road. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens at the end of the year, how we get some what the price does, because it's either going to be, you know, the remainder of this quarter or, you know, 2 quarters. So we'll see.
So the 217 bull run, I exited at a 12K Bitcoin. And my rationale there, it was fever pitch, absolute fever pitch. You know, my the helper we had was coming to me to set up a Bitcoin account. Every cab driver, absolute fever pitch. Starting to see a bit of that again. You know, the Bitcoin ads are popping up on my favorite podcast for BlockFi, recent family events. Every single person there is, hey, should I be getting in? So yeah, you know, some warning signs around that sort of retail FOMO. It is quite clearly on the way. So that's a bit of a concern. But you know, so anyone watching, just you know, temper your enthusiasm. Look at the charts, listen to Baloo, subscribe to his channel. So, utility Baloo. That's what it's all about for me at the moment. I'm definitely going to be getting back into some trading, because in about 6 hours, the game that I have been playing every day for 6 weeks now. Season 0 finally finishes. But I think it's quite interesting to have a bit of a chat about I think we've covered this a couple of times already, but obviously the utility of a token, as opposed to something that has just been speculated on. And for me, these gaming tokens, I have done a deep dive, and I'm pretty damn convinced that I think I know where we're at. I think we're super early. I think a lot of these games are having issues with the blockchain just sort of not holding up to capacity. And I've seen that with Nine Chronicles. But man, I really like this game. I think to me, this one represents the same opportunity of getting involved in Axie about 2 years ago.
I'm very interested to try it one day. I want to play it. I want to give it a shot because I am interested, and I do draw a lot of parallels. Also, the game looks good. I haven't gotten hands on with it. From what I hear, it's kind of just a press the button type game. So, that's kind of, a downside for me. But again, I'm not speaking from experience here. So I would love to get hands on and see exactly what makes it so engaging and how I can see it becoming addictive, because it's clearly got you on a hook. So, I want to see what's going on there. So I'm really excited for when the Mac users are going to be able to use it. And yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. The unfortunate reality with a lot of the gaming stuff right now is it is highly speculative. The top gaming projects right now are Alluvium and Star Atlas, both of which are just a whole big pile of nothing. I was going to say,
can we bring up the Alluvium chart and then we'll maybe have a look at the one for Nine Chronicles. I'm astounded. I think we actually looked at the Alluvium chart sort of sub 500 around the time that they announced that things were delayed. I mean, there isn't even a game.
There's absolutely nothing.
It's just what are people doing? I mean,
it's the equivalent of the NFTs. This.
Huh?
It's the same as the NFTs. There are NFTs out there that have
utility. I mean,
so I've got the wrapped Ethereum chart here. If you want to buy this, just, there's a lesson to be learned here. There's no game. There's no game. This token doesn't do anything. You can farm it, you can stake it, you can buy it, you can speculate on it. And that's what a lot of the market is doing.
Feels like Cardano.
Yeah. I got to give Cardano a shot, by the way, for all the people who know that I'm a Cardano hater out there, because now they have smart contracts. I want to see what they built. But anyways, right. I digress.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just, hey, come on, don't take everything I say so seriously. I just want to look. I still don't like it. But yeah, this, and then the other one is Star Atlas. So, what's that one? I'm not even looking at these tickers because it's just so much hype for nothing that it's really off-putting. This is just a shitty downtrend right now. Atlas on FTX, guys, it's a freaking trailer. You have real games, real scalability, real stuff, real utility, but YouTube has gone and hyped this stuff up at the exact right time, at the peak of Axie Infinity's success, a game with real use case, a game with real adoption, a game with real teams producing content and producing, a playable, fun game. And right at that peak, you had Alluvium and you had Star Atlas come out. So, the hype was there and you got a huge pool of believers. Just be really careful. And I would have some dry powder for when this thing kind of collapses.
You can actually buy these packs on Matic and effectively create a game or at least the trailer for literally a couple of $100. And that's what people are throwing millions of dollars at right now. It is painful to watch. It really is. I'm getting hit up by so many different games at the moment. So, what we're going to do is get our community to really get in there and trial these betas, look at the tokenomics. I think a lot of what I'm seeing is going to end in tears. Obviously the NFT space, when I say utility,
more than just a chat room in a Discord.
Yeah. So, that's the great thing about having the community we've got. I think we can all sort of muck in there together and try out the stuff, really see if there is something to it, figure out the tokenomics, look at the models around a scholarship model. I mean, that's the other thing. Obviously, you spoke about that, I think, last week. That's why Axie's just done so well. It's that marriage of that financial capital and people's time, and it's worked.
You're taking a game. You're taking a game and turning it into a business when you have that. It really is. It's a complete package, and it's all of it. It's the in-game currency SLP. It's the staking and governance and breeding AXS. It's the highly liquid marketplace. It's the constantly evolving meta. It's the user base creating new challenges within the game without even the developers doing something. Just people figuring out different card combination. It's such a well structured game. And, it exists. It's here. People are upset that they missed it. So they're going to try and hold Atlas and Alluvium and expect it to do the same. Mind you, if you got in at the beginning of Alluvium, you're not, you're laughing. So, props to you there at least.
It just keeps going up. I mean, as I say, I looked at it sort of around the $500 mark, and obviously I don't give financial advice, but I just couldn't get it. I really thought the bottom was going to fall out of it at that point. Here we are above $700. Where's the money going? Marketing or development? Let's see. Maybe they come up with something amazing, and we're egg on my face. But I think it's much better. As I say, I've spent 6 weeks engrossed in trying out what effectively is a trial season on Nine Chronicles. And, what I can report back on this right now is there is a game. There is a community. Right. There is, a really quite decentralized community coming together here. I'm constantly in the Discord because there are constant problems with this thing. I have literally been consumed by this, and I've used it as a bit of a test case. I've not gone through a process as in depth as I have here before. I'm trying to figure out the math on this. I'm trying to see how a scholarship model can work. Obviously, we're going to get these guys back on to understand their roadmap. I mean, there's big limitations now, but this thing is early. But the big difference is there's a game. You can go play it.
Yeah.
They're not hyping it as well. That's the other thing I like about this. It's it's not showing up on big YouTube channels where and the price pumping sort of 30% off the back of these guys giving it a nudge. So I like it.
And just keep it that way. Keep it that way. Honestly, what made Axie such a success was the community and what was built over time. Axie came out in the bear market. Okay, it came out in the bear market, and it found users, it found players, it got people engaged, it built a community, it built a marketplace. It built. Okay, all of this other stuff, they're just saying, hey, we're going to do this. Hey, we're going to do that. It's all vaporware. It's the ICO boom all over again. It's a bunch of empty promises and under delivering. And there's more than just a cycle of price in this stuff. There's a cycle in sentiment. There's a cycle in stories, and there's a cycle in market lessons. And I'm getting tired of
Hex 21, and I love that name. Is asking which is better to invest Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, obviously, we can't give financial advice, people. But
it depends on your time parameter.
Yeah.
It depends on your time parameter. So I think given where we are in the market cycle right now, if you do have kind of a shorter term, or if you have a goal to sell the top, like if that's a goal to try and find the top and sell the top, or at least sell before or shortly after the top, if that's kind of your goal, then I do think that from a technical standpoint and from a price appreciation standpoint, I think that Ethereum has more percentage gains than Bitcoin can do. But if you're talking cycle to cycle, I mean, everything is a huge question mark except for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Bitcoin over time, over 10-year periods of time where, you're going to wake up one day and the whole world is using it. Bitcoin can consistently be that winner for you over a very long duration of time. Ethereum, there's a lot of people nipping at the tails of Ethereum. So, we all feel like nobody can really flip Ethereum or take over Ethereum. but maybe there is a chain that does it. Maybe there is a better product out there. Bitcoin's done its thing. It's done its time. And I really don't see that currency going away. I only see it getting stronger, bigger, better, faster. And that's as close as you can get to a sure thing in this market. Everything else has a bit of a question mark. So short term, ETH, long term, BTC.
And also, look, it really depends what you're doing in the space as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, what can you do with Bitcoin? I mean, by its very nature, it's store of value, so you're not really encouraged to spend it. So, you know, look, I've spent nearly 6 years now educating people on Bitcoin. It's just been the most fascinating ride, but I'm probably more interested now because there is just so much more to explore in these other blockchains. But as you've rightly pointed out, they're still unproven. We you know, they really could fall over here. Bitcoin,
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening. It's had 11 years for a state actor to try and take it down, for politicians to legislate against it, for all manner of things. The attacks on it have been just constant. Look what happens. I mean, China, 50% of the hash rate gone. That was a matter of months ago. What's Bitcoin done? It's gone up 50%.
Yeah. The US got on board.
It's a runaway train. I think it's probably one of the safer and better investments there's ever been, and will continue to be that case. But the upside in obviously finding a great game, being early to that token, that's going to make you can make you 10,000x. You ain't doing 10,000x in Bitcoin.
No,
you might 10x from here, I guess.
From here, yeah, it can probably. Well, it might be able to
over a long period of time.
down to your time parameter. It can do more, but you know, as Bitcoin evolves, it's going to become something different that is looked at more as a currency. So right now, you know, Bitcoin kind of rules the space. When Bitcoin goes up, the market goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, the market goes down. Eventually, Bitcoin's going to find some sort of equilibrium. Probably when we stop counting coins and start counting sats, there's going to be a little bit more of a stability that comes in with that. But also just, you know, it's going to diverge from crypto innovation and, you know, crypto blockchains and all of the apps and products that Ethereum and other smart contract platforms are going to offer. And then there's going to be the currency. So instead of us going to, you know, the exchange and trading, you know, alluvium for USDT or Tether or US dollars, we're going to be trading alluvium for Bitcoin. So we're going to come full circle, because that's how it used to be. We used to just trade Bitcoin pairs. So as Bitcoin stabilizes and becomes more of a recognized currency, we're going to go back there, and it's going to have its purpose, and the rest of the market is going to have their kind of niche as well.
Yeah, correct. And we're starting to see a lot of it. Obviously, Lightning Network. It's growing at a ridiculous pace. I think it's like 25% a week at the moment. So that is taking off. Obviously, there are some games on Bitcoin now, and we've also got to remind ourselves here that everything that we see in the crypto space ultimately started from Bitcoin. The first NFT came from Bitcoin. You know, we had the colored coins back in the day. I really like that community. There's great people there. Whether or not you could actually say there is still a Bitcoin community is debatable. It's kind of been taken over by a different crowd these days and their lawyers. So look, interesting times, man. So what else is on your radar going into this part of the cycle? I increased my Matic position actually at around $1.40. Do you think that was a good move? What does the chart tell us on that one?
Yeah, I mean, everything is in accumulation right now. Let me just pull the chart on Matic.
It's just been sleeping for a while, Baloo, and I think so many of these games are on that platform. I think the usability, when it finally becomes something that is literally click and away you go, as opposed to having to figure out how to get onto that blockchain from ETH. As this becomes easier, I do think this one still has some legs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to bridge over. The thing that was holding Matic back was the fact that there just wasn't enough reason to move over. There wasn't enough apps. There wasn't enough use case on the other side. It was cool. It was fast. It was cheap, but there was nothing there once you got there. Now it's different. I play a lot in DeFi. I'm looking at a lot of these decentralized protocols. I'm looking at a lot of these financial instruments that can really only exist on the blockchain when you remove a third party. And I think we're going to have a bit of a DeFi boom coming up here. And Matic's going to be a recipient of that price action, because there are countless dApps that are not, fully migrating, but they have offerings on the Polygon network as well as the Ethereum network. And there's just a lot of crossover. So, it's a big consideration for a lot of people as we head into the later stages of the cycle. ETH gas fees are not going down. They're only getting more expensive. So if you want to bridge and you want to be a trader in DeFi, you really got to pick a layer 2 and you got to go. So, this one has a ton of adoption, really active community, tons of dApps, tons of development. There's stuff being built on for the gaming space. There's a ton of these major DeFi applications like AAVE, Compound. I'm looking at MStable. I'm looking at, there's tons of them. Tons of them are being built where they're having an offering and an application use on the other side on Matic. So it's got a use case. It's got a demand characteristic to it. People are going to need these tokens to operate on these networks. So I think it's a good play. Right now, we're kind of underneath the line in the sand. For me, as long as we're underneath this, we're considered bearish, but we're in an accumulation pattern. We're holding steady. This asset is being accumulated. Once we start to break above this line, right at around $1.65 to $1.75, we could begin to see some of that momentum come back in. But again, we're still watching Bitcoin. We want to break past that high. We want to get permission. We want the thing to happen. We want blue sky breakout so that we can have a blue sky breakout and everything else. So Matic is looking like a good choice from what I can see.
Yeah. Yep. The other thing I'll point out on Bitcoin is looking at the funding rate the other day, which is what people pay in fees when they're using leverage. And that's surprisingly actually came down yesterday, which for me is actually quite bullish. It means that there's not a huge amount of sort of degen longs going in there. So, yeah, I mean, anything could happen here. We know how those leveraged exchanges play this game. It also wouldn't surprise me if we dramatically pull back.
I'm kind of expecting it a little bit. Like, this is a large extension. I do think we need a little bit of a reaction. Now, at what price that reaction comes, that's a complete, there's no technical indicator that can tell me when the reaction is going to come in. But I do see open interest increasing. It's not a total shock that some of the leverage is decreasing as we're slowing down underneath an all-time high. So maybe those that were long are less confident on their positions. But once we break past the all-time high, those 100Xs are going to come right back out. And we're gonna see all the open interest climb. We're gonna see people get irresponsibly long, and then as a result of that, we'll have an unwinding of the leverage and come down to test either the all-time high or some sort of level. It doesn't go straight up. We have rallies, we have reactions. We have rallies, we have reactions, and more often than not, the reactions are caused by an over leverage and an over exuberance from retail. So nothing's changed there.
Right. So we were just talking about DeFi and gaming. Sort of something that molds those two together is the Aavegotchi, or you mentioned AAVE as well. I've been having a closer look. It's one that Stefano sort of talked about continuously for about a year. It's also a game token with real utility. They've got a land sale coming up. I'm definitely going to be taking part in that. The more I've looked at this, and I probably should have been listening to him a long time ago, I really like this thing. What does the chart say?
We're in an uptrend. A little bit of a accumulation here on Kraken. There was obviously a fat finger whale that hit market buy and just wanted to take a position. So it's in an accumulation. It's rounding off. It's looking good. It's heading back up to the upside. We're breaking out some of the highs. It's trending in the right direction. I don't really know what the utility of this token is. I don't really know much about the Aavegotchi system. I was under the impression
this is one, before when I was talking about utility tokens within games. Go check this one out, people. All right. I really, really like their wiki. We looked at it on our gaming show yesterday. I think this one could really take off. Actually,
I think everything will, but I'll check it out.
Mm.
We're at
I
that
like that.
irrational stage of the market. We're just waiting to confirm. We're waiting to confirm the irrational part of the market cycle.
God. Okay.
Full degen. Just buy pictures of bananas and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay, matey. Thank you so much. Any other charts before we wrap up? And do we have any questions? Thank you. Someone's telling me I've aged. Bad lighting.
You need to warm up the white balance, and then you won't look so gray. Get a higher contrasting.
Well, got grayer.
Guys, we're in crypto. If you haven't aged yet, just wait.
I tell you what, playing this game has aged me. It's got this sort of cruel thing where they, every 6 hours you can get into these arena battles, and to literally stay ahead here, you set alarms. You're getting up to nail the exact moment, because the blockchain has been a little bit unstable. Sometimes this thing has dropped. You're in a mad panic. I mean, I literally lost night's sleep over this damn thing. But as I say, it's been a very, very interesting experience to dig that deep into it. I'm hopefully going to get the guys back on for a bit of a rundown of the project next week and what the roadmap is. But yes, thank you for pointing out that I have aged. It's very nice of you.
Anytime there's anything you need to know, the community will let you know.
Yeah. Okay. So any sort of final thoughts? Any other projects you think we should have a look at before we wrap it up?
So, I do think that it's not really going to be narrowed down on the specific project. There's 6,000 coins out there. What do you like? I do think that these things do kind of pop off in different sectors. So if we kind of follow the same trajectory as we had earlier in the cycle, DeFi is going to be kind of the first sector to go off first. NFTs kind of come in intermittently. Usually when we're consolidating, NFT flipping becomes a thing. Mainly just look at all the projects, have some exposure in these different sectors. Now, don't become too overexposed. Don't become too diversified, because it's really hard to handle, a lot of positions when you're at the end and you're thinking about taking profits and settling up some of this stuff. So pick pick a lending coin, pick a market maker, pick a smart contract platform or two, and pick Bitcoin, and just be diversified to the different sectors. Pick some gaming tokens, or better yet, gaming NFTs in-game assets, stuff like that. Any of this kind of stuff that's easy to buy for retail. So think about stuff that's listed on Coinbase. Don't make it too difficult. You got to buy ETH and send it to a wallet, then do this. And there's too many steps. It's not going to get bought. Keep it simple. Get exposure to the different sectors, and you'll be fine.
It's also obviously Coinbase launching this NFT platform as well. I think to me, I love that. We're a crypto culture channel, and I love these crypto communities. It's going to be fascinating to see how the 1.1 million people who have signed up for that NFT platform on Coinbase, how that plays out. I mean, something like Art Blocks is probably going to take off. Let's see. But fascinating.
Charge that $8 to the credit card. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go.
I'll pay it off
get
later.
Some rest now.
Janice
good idea. Has ruined my day, telling me that I've aged.
You look tired. Are you tired?
Oh, I'm knackered. Actually, I am.
That's the most polite way to say somebody that they look like a wreck. If somebody's just all disheveled, it's like, "Oh, you look tired. Are you okay?"
Yeah. Hey, listen, you don't look tired, Baloo. I think in a few months you might. Now, look, this is going to be a wild ride, people, and I don't think you could be in better hands than following Baloo. There's a link below to his channel. If you are a trader, if you just want to learn more, he does a lot of great fundamental stuff as well. Once again, make sure you subscribe to this guy's channel. He's here once a week with us, but you're pretty much on the daily, or at least sort of 4 or 5 times a week, no? On your
3 days a week.
Oh,
3 days a week.
Okay.
If you want 24-hour support.
They may change this quarter, I imagine.
Oh, God. No, I am taking on less, not more.
Oh, really?
If you want 24, I do support my community quite well. So, feel free to drop into the free side of the server, come by, ask some questions. And if you want mentorship, coaching, portfolio assistance with portfolio management and stuff like that, you can hop into the VIP section as well. So go to thecryptojungle.com and check it out. If you don't have an FTX account, you get a free month. So check it out.
There you go. Oh, I tell you what, I haven't actually got a link on this video, but this arrived today.
Oh, lucky.
Got my crypto credit card.
I got to wait till I'm back in Canada before I can get mine.
Yeah, so I will put a link below if anyone out there does want one of these. The thing I like about it is there's no token. You don't have to buy a token for this one. Just put your crypto on there, instant transactions. I've used it in every possible place you could use a card, and it's worked everywhere. So I'm really happy with it. I will, as I say, put a link below this video, 30% off if you want to get one of those.
Do you carry it around in that cardboard box everywhere you go?
It just arrived today. Actually, I've got an old one, but I got the new one, so I don't want to take it out of the box. It's so nice. But I am, yes. That's how I'm going to pay for things.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah. Do you take Ampli?
Yeah, we're actually going to get some of the community to trial it in the Philippines, so we can compare the fiat off ramp to how they're currently converting SLP. Yep. So there will be a bit of KYC involved there.
That's actually kind of interesting. You can load it with any crypto, or can they put SLP on it?
It's USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron randomly. But that's a pretty simple hop converting your SLP to one of those. Talking to the community, I think what a lot of them are going through in various countries is actually quite convoluted, having to literally go and pick up the cash at a bank, this peer-to-peer market on Binance. So it's just going to be interesting to figure out, the fees that are associated with a card like Embly, as opposed to what they're currently doing. Is it a better solution? I know from a convenience point of view, it's going to kill what they're currently doing hands down. And obviously, it's a credit card. You can use it anywhere Visa is accepted. So we'll report back, Baloo. We should have some facts and figures in the next week or two.
Sounds good.
As I say, we've got a couple of the community leads that we're going to sort some cards out for and get their feedback. Excellent, buddy. Thanks so much for your time as always, and enjoy the rest of your evening on that sultry tropical island that you live on, mate.
Will do.
Yeah.
You have a good one as well.
Night's sleep.
Yeah.
I'll look younger next time,
don't
Janus.
Play any. Getting younger next time.
Thanks, buddy. And thanks, community. We'll see you all. We'll be here tomorrow with